Promises made, promises kept.
This is the night Fox crossed the line between where the network ends and President Trump begins.
And I'm going to tell you how we got here.
America, you have the power. Tomorrow you can shock the world again.
Hello, everyone. We are out here live on Facebook at President Trump's rally in Cape Girardeau.
This is not just any rally. It's the night before a historic midterm election. Control of Congress, the future of Trump's presidency, it's all on the line. Missouri is a key battleground, and Team Trump is pulling out all the stops to fire up the base.
This is the birthplace, the hometown of Rush Limbaugh. There's no more sacred ground in conservative media.
What an honor! This is so exciting. I have been watching Trump.
Lo and behold, word goes out. Sean Hannity will be among the presenters. Well, that would be astonishing. Mind you, this is the top person in all of cable news. Fox News' PR department, their phones are ringing off the hook. Sean Hannity is supposed to be like an opinion columnist. Fox allows him to take great liberty, but he still has to at least abide by some measure of news standards. Talent for a news organization should not be openly campaigning with a candidate. It erases any line between the news organization and the campaign.
Hannity completely denies it, tweets out, "I will not be on stage campaigning with the president." He says he's just covering the final rally for his show.
Sean Hannity, come on up, Sean Hannity.
That one small step for Sean Hannity would be a giant step for the network that pledged to make the news fair and balanced. So, how did we get to this moment? It all started with an Australian media mogul who wanted to take on the world.
Rupert Murdoch, from the minute he steps ashore in the United States in the 70s, is all about upending the elitist news environment. He wants to blow up the entire media system here.
With a publishing empire in New York alone that includes The Post, New York Magazine, Village Voice.
Murdoch's expanding his empire in the United States just as a new right-wing radio star enters the scene.
Rush Limbaugh, talent on loan from God.
And Rush Limbaugh is a national hit. He is huge.
That's more like it.
Limbaugh is a game changer for the conservative base. But what Limbaugh doesn't have is the gravitas of a news operation. Murdoch sees a big opportunity, and he finds the perfect accomplice.
I'm here with Roger Ailes, who has been called the Ernest Hemingway of campaign advisors.
Roger Ailes was in the Nixon White House. He knows Watergate happens because the Washington Post, this beacon of credibility, this mainstream news organization, takes down a president. Ailes and Murdoch want that kind of power. They start in 1996. The two men make their pitch to the base.
So what will our Fox News be? It will be different, and it will be fair. Because it has to be. Because a very large audience is begging it to be.
Fair and balanced.
There was a brilliance to it. We are fair and balanced because the others aren't. This makes us different. It's a bullhorn, not a dog whistle, to those people who have felt left out by the news conversation. This is for me. For a long time, they're struggling to get any notice.
And then they get a gift.
The Monica Lewinsky scandal.
It's a salacious story tailor-made for Fox.
Be ready with your clicker to turn your volume up.
It gripped the base and starts to solidify their audience.
The president's on trial. Our team will keep you informed.
And everything flows from there.
On the ground in Lower Manhattan.
Happened shortly after dark.
They establish their news division.
Are American policies too strict or not strict enough?
And that news division gave heft to their commentariat.
The April deadly shooting.
They're going to go after the guns.
Yes.
Ailes also newsified his commentators.
Those who want reparations for slavery are misguided.
Should people who illegally sneak into this country be given a free ride?
Sean Hannity, he's not just in a studio in a Lacoste shirt talking to a microphone. It's a news desk. It has flashing headlines. It's got all the accoutrement of news. For many years, it was fair and balanced.
Let me go back to the single mother issue here.
Hannity would square off against a liberal named Alan Combs.
Hate the nuclear family. Now
Liberals hate the nuclear family?
Let her finish her
would
point.
you stop interrupting? I'm trying to make a
I
point
lost
here.
my head.
But let's face it, he got his butt kicked on almost every debate. It was fair and balanced on the surface, but there was a lot more at play underneath it that tilted the scales to the right. It's the secret of their success.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Dana.
We're a news organization like anybody else, and we're going to tell you those other news organizations are wrong. They're lying to you.
These people are not journalists. These are not news channels. What you just saw is nothing but left-wing propaganda.
This was a retweet. All right, whatever it is. And it came from sources that...
One thing you have to do if you want to run for president as a Republican, it is believed you must visit Rupert Murdoch at the Fox headquarters in Midtown Manhattan. You have to inform him of your plans. So Trump informs Rupert that he is running for president, and Rupert is eating soup. And as we hear the story, he doesn't even look up from his soup. Rupert is not ready to buy into the idea of a Trump presidential run, let alone a Trump presidency.
Ailes has the same reaction, and the sentiment comes through loud and clear. Trump's getting pounded on Fox.
Loser? Loser is Trump, who seems to think this campaign is about him.
It is simply bad anti-terror policy to overreact and prohibit Muslims, even if you could, which you can't.
I find him offensive.
I don't think you're a first-time offender making a personal crack at a woman.
I just think that belief in Trump is misplaced.
It would drive Trump crazy. And he would call Ailes and yell, and it gets to the point where Trump's own staff has to try to keep him away from the television.
And then there's the bitter proxy war with Megyn Kelly. It begins on the national debate
You call women you don't like fat pigs, dogs?
Trump is furious.
You could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
This afternoon, Fox chief Roger Ailes demanding Trump apologize for his latest Twitter tirade against host Megyn Kelly.
What it settles into is this really interesting power struggle, because Ailes doesn't take orders from candidates.
Before we get to the issues, let's address the elephant not in the room tonight.
Trump doesn't take orders from anybody.
Donald Trump has chosen not to attend this evening's presidential debate.
They both need each other. Trump needs the Fox audience. Fox needs Trump's ratings. So there's just this battle for control of effectively really the party.
Donald Trump is the front runner here in Illinois.
37% to Kasich 34.
Trump is leading in Idaho.
All my money on Trump.
Fox might have been hard on Trump, but it didn't matter. The base loves him. It's looking like Trump's probably on his way to becoming the Republican nominee.
We rarely see black chips here at this table.
Trump isn't a Murdoch kind of guy in terms of temperament, in terms of policy.
But Murdoch and Ailes have to make a choice. Get behind Trump or risk losing their base and their ratings. In March 2016, Murdoch sends a signal. He's ready to get behind Trump. He tweets out the Republican Party would be, quote, mad not to unify.
Over the course of several weeks, you see the different parts of the Murdoch empire get behind Trump.
So big news today is Donald Trump has agreed to sit down with yours truly.
The big moment comes when Megyn Kelly goes to Trump Tower to make peace. Trump visits Ailes for lunch at the Fox headquarters, and that's another breaking of the bread. The truce is complete.
Roger Ailes, the architect of the...
But a few months later, literally as Trump's cinching the nomination, Ailes is ousted over sexual harassment allegations.
Rupert Murdoch, who hired Ailes,
Murdoch takes the helm.
He's back in the newsroom. He's part of the action. It's just a wild, fun ride.
Through most of the summer, everyone, including Trump, still thinks that Clinton's probably going to win.
Rupert Murdoch and Rupert Murdoch's sons, James and Lachlan, all believe the true future of the network is with a Megyn Kelly. Someone who can be Trump critical and can appeal to sort of moderate centrist, suburban Republican women and ideally some independents. They need to grow.
Hillary Clinton has called Donald Trump to concede the race.
Trump winning starts to change this calculus dramatically.
And we start to see a shift in Fox's primetime lineup.
Donald Trump.
Greta Van Susteren, gone.
Here to go on the record.
I have decided to pursue a new challenge.
Megyn Kelly, she lands a big job at NBC, gone. Bill O'Reilly's also forced out over sexual harassment allegations. Suddenly, their prime time is far more pro-Trump than it ever was under Ailes. The new faces? The hard-right commentator Tucker Carlson.
Admit the world's poor, they tell us, even if it makes our own country poorer and dirtier and more divided.
And the conservative radio star Laura Ingraham.
Like Donald Trump, to remind us what it was all about. Freedom.
Anchoring it all is Sean Hannity. Ailes used to tell me that Hannity's show was segmented, that its appeal was limited to a shrinking hardcore base. But it turned out this was wrong.
That I would be the bridge between two generations of the Fox News channel. This is the next generation.
Trump is ratings gold.
By the way, we're in the Oval Office.
His rise to power turned Hannity into Fox's biggest star, and the affection was mutual.
Supporting Donald Trump this year is, number one, he's going to...
Weeks after Ailes was forced out, Hannity actually appeared in a video for the Trump campaign. There was a stern reprimand from Fox, but it was an early sign that times were changing. With a freewheeling Murdoch now running the show, and Trump in the White House, Fair and Balanced gets lost in the ratings chase. The network actually drops the slogan eventually. There's virtually no limit on how far Hannity can go.
As I have been warning, Mueller is out to get the president, and it appears at any cost. Here's what happened.
Fox and Trump are now both vying for the base's affection. But the base overwhelmingly only wants Trump, and Trump cheerleading.
Talking about for about a week now, blanketed in red, white, and blue.
The feedback loop is just amazing.
It becomes an echo chamber. If you ever see daylight between them, it's because one of them isn't properly giving the base what it wants to see.
Do not fall for it, Mr. President.
We're already on the right track, Mr. President. Mr. President, I understand the pressure that you are under from every side. But the wall at our southern border is a promise that you made, ran on, got elected on, and must keep.
From Cape Girardeau, Missouri, it is our Election Eve edition of Hannity.
Which brings us back to the rally in Missouri on the eve of the midterms. Remember, Hannity claimed he would just be covering the rally for his show.
Here, if I can, for everybody. They're like firing out hats and T-shirts. I mean, this is literally like a rock concert.
To Fox News, it should be a political event. It's not a rock concert.
There never has been anybody like him. I was speaking to Sean Hannity backstage. Do we love Sean, by the way?
But the problem is Sean Hannity's in the band. And he's about to go up there and play lead guitar. Here we go. Being on stage is just a whole other level of involvement. It's breaking down that last little bit of independence that Fox says it expects from even its opinion hosts.
By the way, all those people in the back are fake news.
It's always been part of Fox's MO to attack the rest of the media as biased. But doing it from a stage with the press in the building, including his own Fox colleagues, he's pointing at them, among others, saying fake news, that was a big deal.
This moment is a joint play to the base. Now they're the real leader of the party.
So anyway, you're right, USA, nothing like it.
After much uproar, Fox says they don't condone anyone taking the stage. So they don't name the people who took the stage. And that's all.
The tepid response is a reflection of where Fox stands right now. It still has real news and real journalists, so they need to signal they're not officially approving what Hannity did. But they will only go so far. The opinion hosts are still the ones plugging into the Trump base, drawing the ratings, and leading the attack against the so-called fake news.
By the way, their ratings dropped through the floor last night. Did you see that?
With a new Murdoch taking the reins at Fox News, there's speculation this dynamic might change. But today, Trump and the network are as friendly as ever.
And our friends, Tucker, Sean, Laura, through the roof last night.
With 2020 coming into view, and both Trump and Fox working to feed the base, how much closer can they get?